Hi everyone, welcome to my series of ClickUp tutorials. In this episode, I'll explain the key structure of ClickUp, otherwise known as hierarchy. This defines how work is organized in the tool and affects many of the other ClickUp settings. In addition to presenting the key concepts, I will also provide a few recommendations on setting up your own ClickUp structure in the most efficient manner. ClickUp hierarchy consists of different levels. The topmost is called Workspace. And typically, this is the entire organization or business level. Information under one workspace can be shared and moved freely around different areas of the tool. The next level under Workspace is Space. You can have as many of these as you like, and I recommend using this level for every area of work that has its own and clearly defined set of processes, rules, and contributors. A perfect example in mid to large corporations would be to create a space for each function in the company, such as sales, operations, finance, and customer service. For smaller companies or entrepreneurs, one space can also be enough to cover all needs. Each space holds at least one list, but it can have multiple lists. There's no limit. Let's say that in the customer service space, you can, for example, set up one list for customer inquiries, another list for customer orders, one for internal development projects, and another one for recurring team meetings. This way, any relevant work in one area or topic of interest stays organized, and it's easy to find and process them, either on your own or together as a team. A list consists of one or several tasks, the basic unit of work in ClickUp. In the previous example of customer service, one customer order or inquiry would be a great example of a task. It has a beginning and an end, usually some kind of a time frame, it needs people to complete it, and it consists of several process steps, often repeating from one task to another. As with other levels, there is no restrictions on what a task can or cannot be, and this flexibility is the beauty of ClickUp. If you need to keep track of your various product development ideas, write them up as tasks in a list. Need to manage projects? Make the project into a list or a task. Different types of work can coexist in ClickUp without having to squeeze them in formats they are not suitable for. To help further with organizing work, ClickUp has some additional levels that might turn out to be helpful at some point. The first one is Folder. You can bundle lists together by placing them in a folder. In the customer service case example, it might make sense to put customer-facing lists such as orders and inquiries in a folder called Customers, and then put any internal lists in another one with a label Team Development, for example. Another handy so-called bonus level is Subtask. If you feel that the standard ClickUp structure does not provide enough granularity for your work, you can always split the task into one or multiple subtasks. Finally, every task has a checklist included in it by default. If there are aspects of the work that don't really fit well in how the task and subtasks are structured, but you want to keep track of them anyway, checklists are excellent for this purpose. To recap some of the key concepts in the hierarchy. Task is the basic unit of work in ClickUp. A task can be added to multiple lists in ClickUp across different folders and spaces, and this is a great way to share information and collaborate between teams. Folder is an additional level meant for bundling several lists together. There are also so-called bonus levels, meaning subtasks and checklists that allow for more flexibility and granularity in organizing work within ClickUp. Let's jump briefly into the tool to check how the structure looks like in ClickUp. When I log in, I am presented with this screen, which is the workspace level. Clicking on the bottom left corner circles, you'll see the workspace settings on the left and the user settings on the right side pane. Upwards in the left side, you can see the space I have created, and when I click on it, it expands to show the folder level, followed by the list level. Here, I've created two folders, each containing two lists that have tasks in them. Depending on the level I click, the tool will show all of the contents underneath it. Next to each level, you will see three dots and a plus sign. The three dots contain settings to that particular level. For example, permissions, renaming, archiving, and deletion options, as well as possibilities to automate, duplicate, or move the item in question. The plus sign is for creation of a new item, either from scratch, using a template, or importing data from an external application or source. Based on my experience using ClickUp, there are a few aspects worth considering before starting to create the setup in the tool. The first one is to keep the structure light. You need a workspace, a space, a list, and a task in minimum, but everything else is optional. Adding unnecessary levels and features will only make the tool more difficult to navigate for everyone, but it also adds administrative workload in the tool. Remember that you not only set up the tool in the beginning, but you also need to maintain it, and when there are changes, those need to be updated in all of the relevant levels. For anyone having collaboration in ClickUp, it is best to work together with the teams to define and agree how the ClickUp structure works. Talk to the teams to find out what type of work they usually do. There is no need to model each and every use case in ClickUp, but start with the most common recurring ones. Agree how those are handled in the tool using ClickUp structure, meaning what does a typical task, list, folder, or other levels look like. If there is no common agreement, everyone will define their own way of using the tool, which makes the collaboration, tracking, and reporting very difficult. The next point is to do a trial run with one space first. No matter how well structures are designed, they need to be tested, and the best way is to organize a pilot run. This pilot phase will determine if any settings still need changes. Once the space is ready, it is very easy to duplicate it to other teams and departments, which will save time and effort. Finally, I strongly recommend having one person to take the ClickUp key user or owner role to ensure the tool is used consistently, users are getting proper training and support, and any maintenance activities or new feature introductions go smoothly.